not critical power. This is gonna hurt.
We came up with the concept of the sort of Dirty Dozen, which it was before it became the Dirty 10. This sort of idea of the suicide mission, that was actually pretty early in sort of discussions of what we wanted to do with Mass Effect 2. And so just in that, you can see that the story and the plot and narrative are really starting to drive sort of the direction of the product.
The Collectors, the Reapers, they aren't a threat to us. They're a threat to everything, everyone. Those are the lives we're fighting for.
Just talking
That's
a little bit
the
about
scale.
how developed the characters are in Mass Effect 2. I think the loyalty missions are a big part of that. What was the process of writing those loyalty missions like?
I was going back through some of my notes for a different interview, I think during some of the anniversaries we had, specifically on Mass Effect 2. I don't know where the actual inception for loyalty missions really came from, but I do remember us having a lot of conversations about how people really enjoyed some of the smaller little tiny missions that you could do for people like Rex or Garrus or whatever on Mass Effect 1. They like that you could go get the armor or, help Rex with this little thing, or help Garrus with this, problem he's having or this decision he wants to make. And so we kind of wanted to lean into that. The interesting thing was the loyalty missions were meant to be, they are generally smaller or shorter than the acquisition missions or the other ones, but they were meant to be like little short things that we did. Of course, in true Bioware fashion, they got much bigger and much more involved in that. But I think the other thing that we ended up doubling down on at one point was we said, look, this game, Mass Effect 2 specifically, is about the characters. Like there's always characters in our game, but this was about the team. It was about the characters. And we realized that in order for you to really connect again with, at the time, 12 and then 10, characters, and at least have some sort of sense that you feel anything for any of them, we realized we really wanted to devote some time to them.
You just cost me 20 years of my life! Ah! Son of a bitch! Ah!
You started this fire, Zaid. It makes sense that you'll burn in it.
Yeah, screw you. Now come on, get me out of this shit.
The other thing that I remember this was a big thing that I was pitching for was I really wanted a mission where I could be guaranteed that one of the squad mates would be with me. Because whenever we write dialogue, banter dialogue especially, here are the 6 options, or in Mass Effect 2, here are the 12 options that you can have, and here are the 12 responses to each of those options that you could have. And because of that, you can guess it tends to be fairly generic, right? Like, it's like, oh, sometimes it's like if Miranda and Jack are in the party together, their response to each other will be a little bit more snippy or something like that. But it's not really specific, and you're not learning a ton about any individual character. So there was a real push to have these missions where we could guarantee that someone was with you, and then that banter could be much more focused on that person.
We've got a job to do. Let's get to it.
Shepard Commander, we concluded that destruction of this station was the only resolution to the heretic question. There is now a second option. Their virus can be repurposed. If released into the station's network, the heretics will be rewritten to accept our truth.
Either way, these Geth won't be a problem anymore. But Shepard, think about this. If you rewrite these Geth, they'll join the others. Legion's Geth will be stronger. Can we trust them not to attack us in the future?
And the interesting thing is it's very much like what you see in a Last of Us style game, where the two characters are mostly present together, and they can the relationship builds over the course of the game. And that's what people really love, because you can have these moments in between cutscene and in between gameplay where you're still developing relationship between the two characters. And so I think that was also a big impetus for us in developing them. The other thing, we knew that Mass Effect 2 is going to be the darker middle act, right? And so a lot of the critical path and even some of the acquisition missions, they tended to be just a bit darker or a little bit more serious. Let's just say serious for now. And we wanted an opportunity where we have meaningful missions, but could kind of just have their own flavor, just to give you a bit of a breath, give you a bit of a different take on it. And then we would wrap those around, of course, the personality of whoever it was you were working with. And so that was one of the other key things that was a consideration, I think, when we were doing the loyalty missions, was just to give you that opportunity to do something that didn't feel like it was necessarily saving the universe, although I think we did a good job of tying it in and making loyalty feel important to the overall mission.
Yeah.
But also just that opportunity where it's like, yeah, I'm just going to go hang out with this person because I want to hang out with this person.